Hello, this is Ben Curtin with Tata Technologies, and today we're going to take a look at the 3D model annotations in Autodesk Inventor 2018. As you can see, I just have a regular part open, and typically when you have a part open, you'd start in a ribbon bar that looks like this with all the 3D modeling operations and so on. But for those that are new to 2018, don't miss the Annotate tab that is here whenever you're in a model document. So this is where you're going to see all of your feature control frames, your model-based annotations, and so on. So to begin with, most often you'll probably be using this tolerance feature type of operation. And the first thing you'll do when you select that is go ahead and pick a face. It could be a flat face, it could be a cylindrical face, it could be a hole, and so on. And this is going to be context sensitive to what you select. So in this case I picked a face. So in the drop-down list on my little mini toolbar up here, I've got either planar surface or slab available. I'll just leave it on planar surface and I'll accept that selection. Once I've selected that or accepted that selection, now I can place the annotation itself. So in this case, there's a couple different planes I could place it on. I could place it on the one you see in green right here. If you want to toggle that and see a different plane that's perpendicular to the surface I have selected, just hit spacebar on your keyboard and you can see how that toggles those back and forth. So I'll use this plane right here and select to place that. Now once you've got the feature on the part selected, you've located a feature control frame or the annotation, you can now start modifying those as well. So in this case I really didn't want a profile, I wanted a flatness on that. And I wanted to change its tolerance as well. So this is a metric part, so let's just make that maybe 0.1 millimeters. And you can see it's updating right here, as well as in the preview down below right here. So if the mini bar is not exactly where you'd like it, you can go ahead and click and drag that to a new position as well. Notice there's a lot of other options in here as well, so if you don't want your datum reference or your datum feature turned on, you can toggle that off. I will leave it on for now. And if we want, we can go ahead and also add notes either above or below as well. So notice I can add text up here, or toggle that back off if I want. I'll just hit enter and we can leave that text. Or to remove it, just backspace out of that so that there's nothing left. Okay, now I've also had some customers that have said they really just wanted to identify the datums in the component. So to do that, you do everything we've done up to this point, but you wouldn't worry about selecting your feature control frame option right there. You can actually just pick that and remove that feature just so we can be left with the datum itself. I will add that back in. You can see here I can add a feature control frame after the fact. And again, we'll update our tolerance value. And that looks good for me for now, so I'll go ahead and OK that. Now the first time you go ahead and annotate one of these, typically this tolerance advisor will show up. And we can see we've got a bunch of messages right here that we've got to fix things with this component. We've got to fully constrain the size. We need to constrain the form, and the locations haven't been constrained, and so on. So this is just kind of telling us what we could complete as far as our model annotations go. So that was just simply a tolerance feature right here. There's also hole and thread notes, regular dimensions, and so on. So in this case, if I had actual hole features in the part, I could select this. I don't have any in this case, so let me just go ahead and select a dimension instead. So you can see it's going to assume a diameter or a radius if I select a cylindrical face. And we can set a precision as well. And I'll go ahead and select a symmetric type tolerance for that. Okay. So quite a bit of other types, other dimensions here as well. We could select a face and then another object or something. So if I want to select one face here, we can rotate the part around and select another face. Now we have the opportunity to place a distance dimension. And notice I could actually hit the space bar as well and dimension that in a couple of different planes. So I'll dimension that off the bottom in this case. Notice there's many types. I've just been using symmetric because it's easy to plug in a value for, but you could have deviation options, limits, max and min, you could have whole fits, and so on. All right. Then there's even some other types, surface textures, just plain leader text. You could add general notes, and then a general profile note as well. So a profile note just lets us go ahead and place essentially like a catch-all note on this particular model. You see this many times on detailed drawings. But let me go ahead and select the area here where the tolerance would be, and I can go ahead and edit that just by clicking the little icon right here. And let's just say that the overall tolerance on this is 0.1 millimeter for anything that we haven't otherwise detailed. All right. So one other thing I should mention here, and I'm going to hide my tolerance advisor, is that you may want to start taking advantage of some of the view representations available here as well. So for example, if you're going to have an isometric view in a drawing later on, you may want to alter this component so that the dimensions are where you want in an isometric view like this, and you can save that. Maybe I'll go ahead and copy that, and I'll call this an ISO view. And then maybe some of these dimensions are going to make sense from a front view or something like that. So let's go ahead and I'll copy this again. I'll make one for front. And I'll make that active. And I'm going to actually click what I consider the bottom right here. And so a couple of these other annotations wouldn't make sense in that view. So you can go ahead and turn the visibility off of the annotations on a view-by-view basis. So in this case, we've got a front view here. We can go back to our ISO, and they're turned on in that view. This is going to allow us to go ahead and show which annotations we'd want if we're creating detailed drawings of this in the future. And that'll be a subsequent video. So again, thank you this time for viewing this Autodesk Inventor model annotation explanation. This is new for Inventor 2018, and come back and take a look at how you go ahead and take advantage of these in your drawing views next. Thank you.